Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Getting ready for the day of practice for the KAST state championship. I'm in the garage, I'm getting stuff loaded up. I don't know exactly what to expect because this time of year both the Holston and the French Broad tend to be very what's the word? Predictable when it comes to the current and the boundaries for the KAST state championship is going to be the Fort Loudoun, and Tellico Lakes, but then the French Broad and the Holston River are also in play, all the way up to Douglas Dam and Cherokee Dam. Now today, I'm going to jump on the French Broad River because Douglas Dam is generating just one for the entirety of 24 hours, which in theory should be about perfect conditions to fish for smallmouth. But there's no guarantee it's recovered. It's been over a year since Hurricane Helene, and if you've seen any of our videos previously, it's not fished the same. It's really been very unfortunate because there's been little to no real good smallmouth on there. We've caught a few decent ones, a few in the 16 to 18 inch range, but we're not catching big ones consistently. And honestly, the really concerning part is we're not catching numbers. We've had at least a couple of trips where we just didn't make a video out of it because we only caught like 2 fish. And that's very abnormal, especially in the summer when you can go out. You might not catch a bunch of big ones, but you're going to catch, as many as 40 and 50, 10 to 15 inch smallmouth, which is usually a good day. And that'll at least get you the numbers you need for a tournament, but it won't get you the big size you need. But there are big smallmouth. We've caught several 20+ inch smallmouth on the French Broad. But because the way the Holston is generating, I don't know that I can get out there. I don't know that river quite as well as I do the French Broad. And I don't have a trolling motor on my kayak. Everyone else pretty much does. I might be the only one that does not have a trolling motor on my kayak. Me and my dad might be the only ones. So we're just going to see what happens. I'm waiting to see what the generation schedule is for tomorrow because tomorrow's the first day of the tournament. If the Holston is in play, I'm thinking I'm going to launch on the Holston. If it's not, I'm going to see how well I do on the French Broad today, see if it's recovered a little bit better. If not, I'm launching on Fort Loudoun, which is not the best lake, but for a lake that's pretty lousy when it comes to size, I've been able to at least catch a few 20+ inch bass out of there. And when it's on, especially on Ish Creek where I like to launch, it's on. And you can catch, a good 5 fish limit. You can get it an 80 to 90 inch limit pretty easy if it's on, and especially since we have 2 days to fish, we'll see what happens. But I'm going to get everything else loaded up. I've got to get a couple more fishing poles and the rod boxes on the trailer. Got the kayak already on there, load stuff into the back of the Pilot, and I'm just going to go out there and experiment. I'm going to see if I can't find some kind of pattern for them. I got to get my crankbait, my Ned rig rod in there. But really, I have no idea what to expect. I'd be lying if I said I was really confident going into this because honestly, it's been so up and down with the water that I know for this tournament boundaries. So I honestly don't know what to expect. But I'm going to get finished, loaded up, and I'll see you all on the French Broad River. All right, guys, I'm on the French Broad. This is the Mutton Hollow launch. As you can see, the water is pretty high up and it's moving pretty quick. But it's only one generator. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. I'm going to try fishing down the far side of the island. We haven't done that since the hurricane, but that was usually the more productive side, and I just want to see if it's still fishable. But I'm going to get everything prepped, and hopefully I'll see y'all some on the river. If not, I'll make another video saying, yeah, I didn't catch anything. But the alternate plan is somewhere on the Holston if the French Broad doesn't pan out, which I'm kind of leaning that way. I think it's going to take a little bit longer to recover, but we're just going to get out here and check it anyway, because if the French Broad is on, it could very well get me a really good placement. So we're just going to check it out. Worst comes to worst, I've got two to three backups, and there's stuff hitting the top of the water right there, so that's a good thing. Maybe the smallmouth are back up in here. We'll see. There's a smallie. Looky there, guys. French Broad smallmouth. Dark fish. Okay, goody. Here we go. There we go. French Broad smallmouth. He's about 14 or 15 inches. So he's a scoreable fish. I'm going to take a picture of him just because. There we go. French Broad smallmouth. He'd be scoreable, and he's pretty heavy for his length. Gonna let him go. That's a good sign. He hit the chatterbait right at the bank. So we'll see if the luck continues, because this could be a place to go to. There's a fish. Oh, it's a tiny little smallmouth, but it's smallmouth nonetheless. Little guy. He ain't scoreable, but it's been hard to get even little guys, honestly. Another little smallmouth. Another little smallmouth. Not scoreable, but he's a fish. All right. Whoa, what just happened? Little drum. We're gonna get him unhooked, and then I'm gonna try to figure out what in the world just happened to my reel. Little drum. We're gonna let him go. Grabbed it. Took off with it. Actually, it was pretty good. I thought it was a decent sized smallmouth for a second, but. There's another little smallie. Nope. Quick release. That's fish. I think that's a smallmouth. That's got to be a smallmouth. That's a drum. Dad, blast it. The way he took off, I could have swore he was a big old smallmouth, and he looked dark. Still a lot of fun to catch, though. These guys put off a heck of a fight. They have... I thought you were a big old smallie, buddy. Oh, come here. Come here. Let me get you in the net. Gotcha. Okay. See if we can't get upstream a hair. I'm going to try to fish this a hair more. Big healthy drum. Probably about 20-ish inches maybe. So that's always a good sign. We haven't been catching even big drum out here. Get a picture of him. So, big drum. We're gonna let him go. Now quit being dramatic. There you go. There he goes. Oh, you quit being dramatic, you silly thing. Biggest drama queens on the face of the planet. There he goes. I've never seen a fish that can be so dramatic. Alright. Get turned around. Don't want to go down these shoals backwards. But so far it's better than it has been in a long time. Already caught 4 or 5 smallmouth. Granted, only one of those was a keeper at about 14 or so inches. The other 3 were pretty daggone small. But the French Broad is known more along the lines of the Numbers River. You could come down through here and catch, 40, 50 fish. Most of them are going to be kind of small, but you still, out of those, I'd say like 1 in every 10 to 15 would be 16 or more inches. So you had like 4 to 5 opportunities on a really good day to catch 5 really good scoreable fish, and sometimes even more. One of my best days on the French Broad happened in October, but that's been about 2 years ago. Caught several over 16 and one that was like 20, exactly 20 inches. So this is a great time of year normally, but as I've said before, and as we've kind of been experimenting with, the French Broad has just not fished the same since the hurricane. But I've kind of come up with a little formula for whether or not this is going to be a good, whether or not I'm going to consider this spot for actual tournament day. So by the end of this float, I want to catch 5 scoreable fish. So that's 5 smallmouth over 12 inches and at least one that's 18 or more. That'll make me consider this spot as a potential area to come. If I do a lot better than that, obviously I know the French Broad a lot better than the Holston, but if I don't see that happening. But if I can catch 5 scoreable fish and one that's 18 or more inches at least, then this will be a spot that I can consider. Maybe putting it above Fort Loudoun, because right now there's really 3 bodies of water. There's the Holston River, the French Broad River, and Fort Loudoun Lake. And right now the French Broad is kind of at the bottom for me. But if I can meet those 2 goals, then I'm going to maybe put Fort Loudoun down at number 3 and French Broad at number 2. Ultimately, what I want to do right now is launch on the Holston. The only issue I might run into is I think that's where possibly up to half of the tournament could launch on the Holston. There's not a lot of access, and I don't want to be stuck in a bunch of people fishing on the Holston River. There's a lot of big smallmouth in there, but if it's not absolutely on fire, there's not going to be enough, and honestly I'm at a disadvantage because I don't have a trolling motor, so I can't really keep up. I know that river decently enough. I think I would have an advantage over people who don't fish it regularly, but still, just those sheer numbers. We've got about 88-ish right now signed up for the tournament, and if there's 40 anglers there, then it could make the Holston unfishable for me. So I might ask around at check-in tonight, like not looking for information other than how crowded were the launches on the Holston. Because if they're crowded, then I don't want to launch there. But if there doesn't seem to be a lot of people there, then it'll be a better possibility. But I'm about to get to my second set of shoals. I'm going to fish around them a little bit, but don't normally do super well around them. But I'm going to start getting down to some more productive water, and we're going to see if we can't meet those goals. If I catch 5, 12, or longer inch fish, and one that's at least 18 inches, then this will be a far more prominent spot for me to fish for the tournament. So let's get after it. That was a gar going after something. Couldn't tell what it was. Looked like it might have been a big old shad. It was gray. Oh, there's the bald eagle. on him. He's about 12.5 inches, so he would be scoreable. So that's 2 scoreable fish caught so far. Right out here in the middle. Go. Out here in the middle on the Ned rig. So the fishing is better than it has been, but having to go pretty big gaps between scoreable fish. Just fish in general, honestly. That's a big one. No, it's not. It's just a good sized smallmouth, but the best one of the day so far. Get a measurement on him. 15.5 inch smallmouth. Pretty fish. So that's 3 scoreables on the day. So I'm getting it pretty close to the end of the float. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure that this is going to be the place to go. But at least there are still fish here. That's the big thing got to figure out. Are there still decent smallmouth in here? He might be the biggest one I've caught today. He's another scoreable. He's about 14, 15-ish. Caught him on the Ned rig. He grabbed it pretty quick. So that's another good scoreable fish. That's 4 on the day. I want to meet my minimum goals for this stretch. I want 1 more scoreable at least, but I need that one that's at least 18 inches. If I don't catch one that's at least 18 inches, I don't think I'm going to use this float for the tournament. It's probably going to end up on the Holston or on the Fort Loudoun. Oh my gosh. What is that? Oh, it's a little sauger. A little baby sauger. Huh. I haven't caught a sauger on here in a while. That's a little smallmouth. Little guy. Little teeny smallmouth. It's nice to be catching numbers again. Like for the last year, you couldn't even catch numbers down here. I'm at least catching more than 1 smallmouth, and I've caught 4 scoreables, so it's not bad. Definitely not as good as it was before the hurricane. So. Okay guys, I'm at my takeout a little bit earlier than I thought I would be, but with the way the river's running right now, been running at about 1.5 miles an hour, which got me down here a lot faster than I was anticipating. But even then, I also kind of didn't fish several of the spots I usually do because I wasn't having any luck on them. But at the end of the day, I caught 4 scoreable, which is not that. I didn't meet the goal of 5 scoreable, and then the largest one I caught was about 15.5-ish, which was again short of my goal of getting at least one that was 18 inches. So I am going to take out now, and then someone's going to bring the kayak trailer down to me, and then once my mom and dad get down here with the kayak trailer, I'm going to pack up. I'm going to head up to Indian Cave and Nance's Ferry, and I'm just going to see what it looks like. I don't think I'm not going to have nearly enough time to fish anywhere over there, but I am going to go and check it out. The big thing I want to see is how crowded it is, because if there's a bunch of people there, then I'm probably not going to fish it. But that's also going to be dependent on the generation schedule, because last I checked they hadn't released it. But I'm going to get everything packed up. Overall, the health of the French Broad seems to be going in the right direction. Caught some decent sized ones. The keepers I caught, one was 12.5 inches. The others were between 14 and 15.5, which are fun to catch. They're not going to win you any tournaments, but those are healthy fish. And then I caught probably 10 to 12 total smallmouth, which is again a lot better than we have been doing. Sometimes it's hard to catch 3 or 4 smallmouth on the French Broad nowadays. So hopefully that's a sign of recovery. I did catch that big drum. We haven't even been catching drum over the last year here. So it looks like the French Broad's going in the right direction, but as of right now, it is not recovered enough to be a viable tournament spot. So I'm going to do more research, and I'm going to got to choose between fishing Fort Loudoun, probably Ish Creek, and then Holston River, which would be Indian Cave to Nance's Ferry. I might end up doing one day and one the other. We'll see. All I know is I've got to catch 5 big fish over those 2 days, and I probably need to average at least 18 inches of fish. I want a minimum of 90 inches over those 5 fish. Preferably, I want to get close to 100 inches because that could be enough to win it. If I get 100 inches of fish, that would very well seal it. I would at least be in the money. I'd probably be in the running to win the entire individual tournament. So that's the plan for now. I'm going to start breaking stuff down, and I'm going to go and explore the Holston and just see what it looks like, because it could, if it's really crowded, I'm not fishing it, more than likely. So I will, I'll give you any more updates as I find them. If I want to do some recording at the Holston River, we'll see. It'll depend on what's going on. So thank you all for sticking so far. There might be an update after this. We'll see. I don't know yet.